morning. It is Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. This video is on the Venus prophecy, codenamed Morning Star. You're not going to get this on any other channel, but a lot of stuff I do does correlate with things that other people are talking about. But anyway, I've been throwing out a date, June 4th, 2024, for over a year, because there's this alignment in Taurus, and you know what, I'm going to actually pull up that alignment, and maybe that'll be the next video, is talking about the alignment specifically. But it's all these planets and a lot of other stuff all lining up in Taurus. So I was calling it the fall of Babylon, but at this point, I'm kind of coming to the understanding that like any sign or alignment has both good and bad interpretations. So I'm now framing it up as the fall and the rise of Babylon, just depending on what your perspective is and how you're viewing what's going on. Because some people might think it's a good thing, some people might think it's a bad thing going on. But anyway, I was just doing a little research on the alignment on June 4th. And if you go, and just so you know, that alignment on June 4th, like I just kind of stumbled across it and it resonated. And I've been flowing with it because that's what I've learned to do. Is when things resonate, like I feel like there's some kind of spiritual message being delivered, I flow with it because I've learned that it's never really wrong. And, anyway, but here's what we got going on. It's June 4th. If you add 153 days, that lands you at Election Day, November 5th, which may be the most important day in the history of the United States. Donald Trump has said it, and Joe Biden has said it. But 153, that's the magical number from the Bible, from John 21. It's Jesus's third appearance after being resurrected. He's on the shore. He sees the disciples fishing, and he says, "Cast your nets on the right side," not the left side, the right side. And they haul in a massive haul of fish that when it's counted on the beach, it's 153 fish. And, 153, I was just pulling up saying, what does 153, what's it all about? Well, hey, there was a thing called the code 153. I think it's in the country of India, but I think it's the police code for inciting a riot. And that's kind of interesting because it seems like there's this thing, protesting and a fine line of rioting, that's affecting our whole civilization at this point. But 153 is a triangular number. If you stacked up the dots, it makes a triangle. 153 is known as a narcissistic number because a narcissistic number, when you break it down, returns to itself. So 153 is 1 cubed plus 5 cubed plus 3 cubed. 153 is divisible by 17. It's 17 times 3 times 3. And, 17 is this number, like the Pope, it's 7 and 10, which, 7/10, that's my birthday, So it's also like, it's like the Day of Atonement, the 10th day of the 7th month, on the Hebrew calendar. But like the Pope was saying, it's the 7 spirits of God and the 10 commandments, the spirit versus the law, the 7/10. But, you find the 7/10 everywhere. It's on the dragon who has 7 heads and 10 crowns, But Jesus, it was at his third time appearing after his resurrection on the beach. you know, what's interesting is Peter is an interesting character, and I'm going to probably do a video of Peter because he kind of ties into how I view a lot of things that are going on. But Peter denied Jesus 3 times. So Jesus, when he's on the shore eating the fish, he asks Peter 3 times, "Do you love me?" And Peter was like, "Yeah, I do." And then Jesus kept saying, "Well, then feed my sheep." And Peter was grieved. But, you know, when Peter was in the boat, what's kind of funny, interesting, is they're out there fishing, and Jesus says, "Cast the net in," so they get all this fish. But Peter, when he's told it's the Lord on the beach, Peter, you know, he was ashamed for whatever reasons, but they're saying he was naked. But you know what I would say, you know, in that he tied his coat around him and cast himself into the ocean, which sounds all negative, but I'd say, you know, it was definitely, it was something in his conscience that was grieving him, and maybe it was the fact that he denied Jesus 3 times, so he was kind of all of a sudden afraid to see him face to face. So when he jumped overboard, he wasn't even headed towards Jesus, you know, he was headed the other way, you know. But Peter, you know, is kind of like the prodigal son, you know, because, you know, you don't have to be perfect to be on God's side and to be working for God and following His will. You know, God loves to take you on the path to perfection, you know. But, you know, Jesus ultimately tells them, "Hey, follow me." And then he says an interesting thing. He says, "Hey, man, when you were young, you girded yourself." You know, and that's why, like, Peter girding himself, throwing his coat around himself on the boat was his attempt to hide his nakedness, whereas you can't hide anything from God. But, you know, Jesus says, when you were young, you girded yourself and you walked wherever you wanted to. And he goes, but, you know, now that you're old, you're going to stretch out your hand, and it's going to be someone else that guides you. And they're going to take you where you would not go. And I'll tell you, my friends, that's kind of where we're at. One of the, you know, miraculous things that might be manifesting in the near-term future. And I would wrap it all up with the Venus prophecy packaging and the morning star. You know, Jesus said, "I am the morning star, and I'm going to give it to you." But anyway, from June 4th, the alignment in Taurus to election day, 153 days, from June 4th to August 4th is 61 days, which is an interesting place to arrive at because Barack Obama was born in 1961, and I think he's actually turning 63 this year because I'm turning 62. And, you know, the number 62 is in play for me. But, you know, 61, born in 61, you go 61 days, you arrive at Obama's birthday, and, you know, a lot of people think Donald Trump is the Antichrist. Well, hey, a lot of people think Obama's the Antichrist. And what's interesting is a picture that I've seen is the Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten. You know, they've done pictures where Obama's face is blended with Akhenaten's face, and they almost look the same. So it's like, is Obama a reincarnation of Akhenaten? But they say that Akhenaten came to power either in 1353 BC or 1351 BC. They're not sure. But what's interesting is both of those dates have the number 153 in it, you know, so that's just, you know, one of those strange but true, like maybe we're onto something here. And Akhenaten, you know, his name ends with Aten, the 7 and the 10, and he established a new religion, you know, of monotheism, you know, worshiping the sun, you know, Aten. So anyway, you know, I'm going to kind of wrap it up, you know, from June 4th, the alignment of the rise and fall of Babylon, go 120 days. And you arrive at October 2nd, which is another eclipse, I think, across America. and you know, we had one on the 14th last year, the Ring of Fire, you know, so I don't know necessarily that the eclipse is a good sign, but you know what, like I said, signs have to be both good and bad. It's just whether you got the eyes to see it. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this video. I'm going to bring more, because this is kind of like a series in a little ways, but talking about Peter, talking about the Venus prophecy, you know, the tribe of Dan, you know, keys and angels, man. They're all kind of intertwining, you know. All right, hey. May your path be blessed. May that, God bless you, that your eyes are open, and thank you for tuning in and keep on watching. All right, catch you later.